Welcome to another episode of Follow Suit. As always, I am your host, P.O. We are live in Bobby D's Gateway here in Cleveland, Ohio. This is brought to you live from the Follow Suit Podcast Network, exclusively on Roku. Today, I got a good friend of mine. I call her my little sister. I've known her since... It's over 20 years now, which it sounds crazy, but it's over 20 years now. Miss Lavinia Jones. I call her Lavinio. How you doing?
I'm doing good. It's good to be here. I've been watching PO's stuff for quite a while now, so I'm happy to be here.
I appreciate you. I know you're a part-time celebrity now.
I do what I can.
You got trips, so I appreciate it. One of the first things I want to talk to you about is, in today's, world and culture, our generation is big on exploring things, but you were part of exploration way before it was popular to do. A lot of people don't know that you're from England, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So what was that like at a young age to be taken away from England and moved to a completely another country and being separated from family? Because when y'all came here, it was just you, your mom, and sister, right?
Me, my mom, my sister, and my dad.
And your dad, yeah. Can't forget the OG.
Yeah.
My bad, Pops.
Shout out to my parents. It was kind of, I was young, so at the time I didn't really realize what was going on, but my parents did a great job at making sure me and Carly went back every summer. So, me and her used to disappear for summer times.
Yeah.
It would be us going back to England to be with our family. So it kind of felt like a mini vacation every time we went to see them. So, of course, when we left, it was traumatizing. I'm gonna miss you guys so much. There was always tears, but it was good for us as kids to kind of see that versatility, that there is more to the world. You can do what you want. That kind of gave me my big brain now. There's so much more to the world than what we're thinking about.
So how do you feel like that impacted you, long term, not being around grandma, not being around cousins and having all those things? I know you did it during the summers, but it's obviously not the same. I'm in Charlotte, which is only 7-8 hours away from my family, but my son would still be I just want to go to grandma's house, So how for you was it affecting you long term, just thinking back and looking back on stuff you might have missed out on?
Oh man, me and my sister talk about this all the time because my brother ended up staying in England. So me and her always talked about...
And he's the oldest, right?
Yeah. We just used to talk about how different it was because I come from a 2-parent household. So my dad's family was here in Cleveland, but we didn't really see much of them growing up. So it was we really missed out a little bit. The times that we would have went to my grandma's house, we didn't. We weren't able to do that when we were here. So it was just we felt like we were missing out on something. But my family unit was so tight. Me, my mom, my dad, and my sister were just so tight that when we were away from them, for me personally, it felt as long as I had a sense of home, I'm good.
Yeah. So it might be hard to say from because I'm assuming y'all moved because of your dad.
Yeah, he was in the military.
All right, so how was it, and I know it's probably tough to talk about this stuff because it's your parents' relationship, but how was their relationship? Did they have a lot of head-butting, or was it a lot of friction because of motherfucker, I moved you from my family?
Yeah, for sure. When you're younger, you're kind of just why is my parents always fighting? Why y'all beefing a lot? But now that I'm older, it's to move someone away from everything they've grown up to know, from their entire family, that's a lot to ask someone to do.
Yeah, definitely. And
you kind of feel from my mom's perspective, you kind of feel I'm giving up everything for you, nigga. Come with the shit, So it was weird seeing them argue, and I just wanted everybody to get along. I'm so much just let everybody be fair, let's all be equal, it don't matter type of thing. So it was a lot, but now that I'm older, I understand it. So of course they bumped heads. It's a relationship. They were trying to figure out how to make this work, how to grow two beautiful young ladies and flourish in every category of life.
That was a little slight arrogant little braggy, little too beautiful, including
I have to though. They had to figure it out, even if that took sacrifices from them, even if it took them bumping heads, what was best for us. And I feel they definitely did that.
Yeah, that's how it was for us, because it was very, very tough to move my kid. My mom had all boys. So my daughter was my mom's first baby girl. Yeah. And my daughter was a month old, and then, all right, Mom, peace out. We're moving to Charlotte.
Yeah.
And so it was very tough for me to do, and it was a hard decision to make. And my mom called us every single day to talk to both of the kids, and And she barely, I mean, she talked to me, but
Yeah, but
I'm
she
like,
wants
hey,
to
mom,
talk
how
to
you
her
doing?
grandbabies.
Let me see my babies. And
Right.
then they talking the whole time. So that was tough. So I can imagine moving them clear across the country.
Yeah.
Speaking of beautiful young ladies, and speaking of, moms, how your mama doing?
My mom is doing great.
Yo-
She's great. Still happily married with my father.
Oh no, I'm happily married. I just listen. Your mom was like for elementary boys. Your mom was like the first mom that everybody had a crush on.
Yeah,
she was the
the
first
mom.
person. She was the first person to pull off the shortcut. So before it was Holly Berry, before it was Jada,
She was.
it was
for
your mama.
Sure. For
Like your
sure.
mom was always an active mom in the school, and I think that was always a big thing to see. Like, all jokes aside, to see like the parents. Every like kid had like them parents that would be there, and every class had that parent that was active and just loved on the whole community and stuff like that. So shout out to your mom for always being there
Shout
for
out
us.
to you, Mom. You deserve
Yeah.
that for sure.
One thing I wanted to ask you, since we went to the same school, now that you are Americanized, and
For sure.
we came up in the same school system. I'm a very creative person, and I believe in being my own way, my own structure. How hard did you find it for you, being somebody who was very artistic, growing up in a standard school structure without any type of artsy program, when you know in your mind, like, this is what the hell I want to do in my life, but nobody's giving me structure on how to do it? Like, how hard was that for you? Because now you succeeded and you're in that realm, but I imagine the path was tough. So can you dive into that?
Yeah, so I think I got it from all angles. Like, even my parents were like, don't waste your time on art. Like, it's good that you can do it. It's good that you're creative, but you got to keep your head on straight. I came from a very militant background.
Same
so my
here.
dad was like,
What was he?
he was in the Air Force.
Oh, okay, my dad a Marine.
Yeah, he was always get a job, go to college, pay for college. Okay, I ain't doing that.
Nah,
okay, look,
nah.
pay for college, and then graduate, get a great job, and figure out how you can be comfortable in life. And comfortability scares me. So he said it so much growing up that I was always like figuring out in my head, how can I rebel without making
Yeah,
you
yeah.
disappointed? Like, how can I figure out the second path? So I've always kind of felt like I had to live dual lives in a sense. So while I took the straight and narrow path, I've also at that same time created that own path on my own. So I kind of was able to have that duality. It's tiring.
That's a nice
It's
word. Run it back. You had
duality.
That. Okay.
You
Okay.
know? Yeah.
But it is exhausting, because it's like nobody else understands your, like, you can clearly see it. You can see
Yeah.
it clear as day. Like, everything that I do and I work on, like, by the time I release it, I know it's gonna work. I'm never
Yeah.
surprised
Never
with the
surprised at the
success,
outcome.
because
Yeah.
it's like I saw this shit clear as day.
I knew what I wanted to do, and I said I'm gonna do it. So like, I'm really big on people, doing that. Even the people that I keep around me too, we all have that same mentality of, if you say you're gonna do it, that's your challenge to yourself. Like, you owe it to yourself to do what you said.
Yeah.
Like, nobody else can hold you
So
against
how
that.
hard is it to work, like, because there's not just jobs out, and then that generation with, like, the parents, like, my dad's a military dad, so he just, like, yeah, you work, and you're gonna work 100 jobs, and you make,
You gonna work
make this
100
money, and you get this money, and
you gonna
you
be
do
there
it.
forever. You gonna
Yeah.
grow up that corporate ladder.
Yeah, because, like, being comfortable, that's not, like, I'm not happy. I don't want to go to school to learn about something that I'm not.
I don't want to.
It's not the best of my abilities.
Yeah.
So, and then now I'm going to do a job and do this for 50 years, and then retire from that job and get a 401k, and then when I get that pension, I can travel for 2 years before I die. Like,
That's a
what is- I
lot.
can't
That
do
sounds
that.
like too much. It's
Yeah.
just too much.
Like, I can't accept that outcome in life.
Yeah.
So how hard is it for you? Because I know for me, it's very, very draining to sit at work, and I know what my passion is in life, know what I want to do in life, and I've already started doing it and seen success in it. So it's just like, man, if I only had this much more free time, imagine what I can be doing if I can do it full time. So how hard is it, before you got in the career you are in, how hard was it to work a regular, standard, structured job, knowing you have these skills and knowing that you have a following and knowing what you want to do?
I have to
That's a good
over.
question, Helen.
That was. He's been coming with them. Okay, Lurk. That's a great question, because it's, again, I have to say this word again, like, it's exhausting. Like, it's tiring to sit there and know that a company just doesn't appreciate your creativity and the heights that you're wanting to take it. Like, some of these very corporate structural organizations you can be in and be like, I know how to get you popping in the city.
Yeah.
Like, I know what to do to get you where you want to be. I know how to build something for you, but you're not allowing me to do it how I know how.
Yeah.
So I'm sitting here frustrated because I'm underutilized, I'm underrecognized, and I feel like I'm wasting my time.
Yeah,
Ultimately.
don't forget underpaid.
Underpaid for sure.
Yeah.
So it was really tiring. And then people on the outside of life is like, you got a good job, you get paid a lot. So it's like, dang, I don't want to slap anybody in the face that makes less than me, but also this is not what I'm trying to do. This may be good for y'all, but this isn't what I want to do with my life.
I agree. That's why the Kanye documentary was so big to me, because it's like you can see somebody like-minded as somebody like me and you who got a clear as day vision.
Man.
He got a clear cut vision and he telling you what he want to do, but it's just like everybody like, man, you made it. You doing great, man. You got to be rich.
Not
and
there
it's
yet,
like,
but appreciate you.
I'm making money doing something I am not happy doing.
Yeah.
Like, I wish I could quit it today.
And you don't want to like kick dirt in somebody's face if they value that lifestyle, you know,
Yeah.
because that's for you.
Yeah.
Like, I can't sit here and dumb down the things that I want for myself for you to feel confident in your decision. Like, that is your decision and you have to rock with that. Like, I heard in another one of your episodes, you said that your wife was telling you that she needs a 9-to-5 for structure.
Yeah.
And she needs that in order for her mentality to stay straight, organized, and on the straight and narrow. That is dope.
Mm-hmm.
That is dope that she owned up to that. I love that. Like, you hit that right on the head. A lot of people can't do that.
No,
a lot of
yeah.
people wish they could do the adverse, but they not willing to say that either.
Yeah.
So it's like, you have to be comfortable in whatever decision you choose in life. So
Yeah, my wife, like, she always say that she wished that we moved to Charlotte for her, because she liked to have that structure, but then for two, she know that I would flourish even more just having that free reign and free time to do all the stuff that I like to do, that I'm into, because like I'm one of them people that I can't taste success. If I taste it, like I need it.
yeah, because then I'm gonna be hungry for it even more.
Like I'll call my older brother and I was like, hey man, you know why Pops won't just take some of this money and invest it to do this for us?
Man,
or,
it's frustrating.
And why we can't get our elders in the family to see in this vision? And he always got to talk me off the ledge, like, yeah, that's not their vision. They don't, they don't see it like that.
And that's okay though. That is
Yeah.
okay. Like, a lot of people shame their family for not seeing their vision, and it's like, that's not for them to see.
Yeah.
Like, God only gives you that light to see because that's your path, and people don't know how to stay on their path. So.
Yeah, and it's crazy because it's like when you in a creative space, it's like nobody can understand it but another creative person.
Yeah.
And nobody can understand I can understand the wanting of structure because I know how my wife is. Mm-hmm. But had somebody who I wasn't as close with said it, I'd be like, what are you talking about? You gonna work there forever?
Yeah.
Are you crazy? But my wife is very meticulous, so she helped me understand that. One thing I want to talk to you about is like overcoming trials and tribulations to get to where you at. So, I've known you for a very long time, and I just remember being on Facebook and you had announced that you had cancer, and I was like, what the fuck? And it was like, if I'm not mistaken, it was pretty serious, right? Yeah. Like, it was very serious, because I remember like praying like a lot, and I'm not one of the people that say stuff to like I don't say stuff to get some type of clout. Yeah. I'm not posting pictures of you, but like, I know you. I've known you for a long time. No, you're not my best friend, but if I see you, what's up, little sis? What's up, boo? And when I see you going through it, I'm just like, damn, man, she always is a lively person, and like, I can imagine how draining it was for you to be somebody who's always bubbly in the height of the room and stuff like that, to just be pulled away. So what was it like going through, and if you're comfortable talking about it, but what was it like going through that experience of, one, like having your sunlight drained out of you and a glim being on it, and then having to go through those battles? Like, I know a lot of people, when they go through cancer battles, it's like having that sight and hope for the next day.
Yeah. So
what was that struggle like for you?
I think, so first and foremost, this is my journey, this is my story, so I'm never ashamed. I'm an open book when it comes to this. I'd love to educate and talk to people about this experience because it was kind of a gift and a curse. Like, I had just graduated college. I moved to Texas thinking, yeah, I'm the shit. I graduated early.
And
like,
you
what's
are.
up? I got my degree. Like, let's go. I got cancer like a year after, not even a year, like 4 months of me being in Texas. I got cancer, and I found out because my bone broke in my arm. Like, I was putting up jogging pants, so it didn't take much energy, none of that, and my
Wait.
arm broke.
Wait. You was putting on pants?
On jogging pants, just regular boot, and my bone broke in my arm. So I had bone cancer, which is basically osteosarcoma. So basically a tumor forms in your bone and your bone breaks. And some people don't see it or are able to catch it, and they have to immediately go for amputation. So I was able to catch it in time and not have to go through any of that.
So you never had no signs of it? You just...
My arm was really tired all the time. Like, I was constantly like, I cannot lift this thing up. It hurts a little bit for me to lift this thing up. What is going on? But I thought it was just fatigue. Like, I thought I was overactive with it. So I'm trying, because I was drawing like crazy. So I'm like, maybe it's like some form of carpal tunnel.
I got
like,
you,
maybe
yeah.
it's something going on. So I kind of overlooked it. But then I started telling everybody around me, like, do you ever get like a weird pain in your arm that just doesn't go away? Like, it started hurting when I was going to sleep, laying on it. It was just a lot. It was just a pain that wouldn't go away. And then everybody kept telling me, like, you're overthinking it. You're thinking too much. Like, da-da-da. I was misdiagnosed 3 times. Like, I went to the doctors. They're like, we don't know what to do for you. Like,
That's a lawsuit.
that's a lot. That's a lot. It was a lot. It was definitely a lot.
And I probably would have been one of the people that were like, yeah, sis, your arm probably just sore or you
Yeah.
tired, because you never, like, on the outside looking at it, you never gonna think like,
you're not gonna see if somebody got cancer just sitting on it.
yeah,
you know?
but if it was your chest, I'm like, hey, you nigga, go to the
Go
doctor.
check that out,
Yeah,
yeah.
but your arm, that's like a crazy thing. Was it hard for you to like, because I know everybody gonna give an outpour of emotions and stuff like that, and then me being like somebody who knows you, but I wasn't like in the circle,
Yeah.
but I'm not gonna reach out to you and overwhelm you, but it's people got love for you on the outside, but was it hard for you to like shield people off or separate yourself from a lot of people?
It started like that. Like, the moment I found out, I think I was depressed for like a week, and that's when the text messages were coming in though. Like, people kept constantly reminding me that in some way, shape, or form, like, my life could be over. Everybody was texting me, reminding me that, like, I'm so sorry, I can't believe this happened to you, you're such a great person. And I'm like, being a great person don't stop you from getting illnesses.
Yeah,
like, damn,
right,
like, what is this helping? But then I had to take a step back, so I detoxed for like a week from my phone, and I was sitting there thinking in my room, like, all of these people are really just reaching out of love. Like, they don't know what to say at this time. Like, I'm getting mad at them. I'm allowing them to control my energy. And after that week of me like being depressive and crying in my room, and my mom sleeping with me every day because I just couldn't be by myself, thinking I'm not gonna wake up, me and her became like best friends during that time. But after being depressed for a week, it turned into me seeing now my mom is depressed. Now my dad is getting depressed. My sister's depressed. Like, ooh, I'm the problem now. So my energy switched after that first week, to be honest. And from then on, I was just like, I don't know why y'all crying, okay? Because we about to beat this. Like, we gonna have to figure this out. Like, we got the best doctor in the state of Texas. She was actually world renowned for my cancer. So we forked out some cash and figured out what we had to do so we could Magic Johnson it, okay?
That's
like, we had to figure this out. We had to figure it out.
You definitely doing your magic though, because it's like, not only did you overcome it, but you thriving and you doing everything that me knowing you when you was younger, everything I would have thought you would have done with your art and your skills. Like, you opened up, you had an art show that me and my wife came out to, and it was just like, I was sitting in there, and my wife like, damn, she really good. And I'm like, man, like, I remember her doing this when she was in like 3rd, 4th grade. So it was just, for everything to come full circle like that was major. One thing you brought up to slightly pivot away from that was like you being the energy for your family. You always are like the energy for the family, and like I feel like I'm one of the people in my family who's like the energy of the family. Is it ever draining for you to feel like, I can't show sadness or I can't show like a weak moment because I gotta be able to be that person for everybody else? Like, now for me, I don't feel like I can't be vulnerable because I got brothers and uncles and aunts and everybody like that in my family who will let you know, like, hey, you can talk to me or whatever. But but it is kind of hard when you got younger cousins and siblings that's like, that look up to you, as that inspiration. So do you find that hard being that person in your family?
So I have a lot of strong people in my family, like strong energy, strong attitude, and I'm kind of the soft one of the family.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I'm kind of the person that's always like, okay, you going way too hard, like chill. I am one of those people that I do not dwell on problems. We are not going to sit here and keep rehashing the same problem over and over. If you have an issue, you are going to tell me about it, and we are going to have a conversation about it and move past it. Like, I feel like my love is bigger than the argument that we're going through at this moment. And that's the balance that I feel like my family needs, because I do have a lot of strong-minded, a lot of militant, very demanding individuals in my family. So, like, even with my sister, we go head-to-head all the time just because she feels so passionately about everything she says, and as she should.
She annoying, but that's my girl. Yeah,
as she should be that passionate. But then there's also a section where it's like the other person's allowed to be just as passionate as well.
Yeah,
like the other person can feel equally, but we don't have to argue or yell or.
So Cortez, shout out to Tez. Tez had posted on Facebook the other day, like, just because you don't agree with somebody don't mean that they wrong. And that's what, like, our people got to come to an understanding of. Like, just because me and you don't agree on the same topic don't mean that you're wrong about that, your opinion.
Or it doesn't mean that I'm trying to trump yours with mine, but I'm going to speak just as passionately about mine as you are. And we can come to, that's what people mean when they say, let's just meet in the middle and say nobody's right. Because in the reality of it all, who is going to give the final verdict? We don't have a judge here. So you can be passionate about your stance. I can be passionate about mine. But the difference is I can walk away still feeling confident and passionate about mine. Like, not saying my sister does this. She has her,
I don't know. Sometimes she does. Sometimes
she has her moments where, you know,
we got into an argument one time. That shit lasted for like 4 years. And then she seen me like, bro. And I'm like.
That's how it be.
We was mad about something. I'm like, we was mad about something. I can't remember what's up, but that's how
she takes a step back and she takes on your difference in opinion as you attacking her sometimes, and that just comes with like going, like, we grew up differently even though we grew up in the same household. Like, I'm the little sister, so of course I got way more attention from my parents because they was like, you is not about to rebel the way your sister rebelled. Okay, you is not about to rebel like that. But that didn't mean that she got less love. Like, that didn't mean that they didn't care about her just as much.
And what's the age difference? Like
4 years. Yep. And then my brother's 4 years older than her. So.
And that's how. So Dave is 3 older than me, and I'm 6 over Jalen. But so with that, with having multiple siblings and a big family, how do you feel? Because you the baby of the family. Man, no wonder you the baby. So how you feel like that helped you to become the person you are? Because okay, you might have got treated differently by your parents, but they all loved you. They loved y'all all equally.
Yeah.
But like having the older siblings, because I can speak that. Even though I got one older brother, but I got a lot of young uncles who are like kind of close enough to be brothers.
Yeah.
So I got a lot of like their guidance that kind of led to me, that molded me to be the person I am. So how did you feel like, we're gonna exclude the parents here, how do you feel like the siblings molded you to become who you are?
So I feel like my sister really focused on making me strong, like really making me feel like
doing push-ups and shit like that.
No, like mentally and emotionally strong. She really tried to, you know, allow me to think as openly and as creatively as I could, but understand like this is how you have to handle things. I remember she got in trouble and got her phone taken away from her for like 6 months because she didn't call.
6 months?
Yeah, look, came from a very militant background, but
what age is
this was she was in high school. She was in high school.
Keep going. I ain't having a phone in high school.
But she got her phone taken away from her for 6 months for not calling my dad or something happened. But she would like literally give me game. Like, if you don't want your phone taken, then you need to make sure that you call mom and dad and tap in with them. Like, she learned her lessons from those punishments and then would give me game. So I'm like, okay. But in that same light, for me as the baby, I'm looking at it like, okay, this is how I can be a perfect child. This is how I can make sure I don't irritate my parents. I don't irritate my sister. I don't step on anybody's toes. So my whole life, I pretty much grew up to be a perfectionist, a people pleaser, if you will.
That makes sense. Like my brother, it was even after like I was already grown when he said this to me, but my big brother was like, hey, I called you, bro. I'm like, yeah, my phone died. He's like, why is your phone dead? I'm like, nigga, I used my phone. It died. He's like, yeah, but you got a family, bro. Your phone can't die. Yeah. Like, your phone can't die. If I need to reach you, no, forget me. If your wife need to reach you, you need to be able to answer your phone. So just little stuff like that to make you a better person is what those siblings are.
Yeah, she kick game a lot. My brother kick game too, but my
he
brother
ain't that smart, but you know.
Can't give him too much.
Yeah, no. Did you have anything that you wanted to highlight or bring up to me? Anything, topics that you wanted to cover, or any questions that you might have had in general for me?
No questions for real. I do just want to, harp on the fact you said a question earlier about going to school and not really feeling like you had those resources to be who you want to be. Not a bragging moment, but I went to Maple Heights High School. I went to Ball State University in Indiana.
Yeah, I'm hip.
And then I got my master's at Walden Online in the bed beating cancer.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
wait. You got your master's while you had cancer?
While I had cancer, I needed something to focus on
I didn't know that.
Yeah, while I needed something to focus on while I was fighting something, because I noticed that me being depressive, being in a room all day, like I'm constantly just taking this energy that people are sending to me and not really taking control or responsibility for my energy. So I got my master's in the bed. And then, now I work for the Browns, and I have a cereal bar opening on West 25th in June. So yeah, so you can get everything that you want out of life if you remain focused on your goal. Like as creatives, like only we can quote Kanye, okay? Because everybody else don't think we're crazy,
right.
But only we can quote Kanye and really deal with the backlash that comes from that. If you have a dream, you have to stick to that. If you know you're talented and you know you're good and you know you're destined for more, you have to stick to that, regardless of if you're destined for more means climbing up that corporate 9-to-5 ladder.
Yeah.
Like, you have to stay on your path and just believe in yourself enough to say, I want to get to the next level, so I will. So.
Yeah, I'm one of them people that believe that it's nothing in life you can't do. And you wait, hold on. My mom calls me a serial killer.
That's hilarious.
But with a C, because I eat cereal.
Me too.
Like, I'll eat cereal before dinner. I'll eat it after dinner. I'll eat it for dinner.
Right.
I'll eat it for breakfast, and I'll eat it. I'll eat cereal all around.
It's a hearty meal, if you ask me.
I'm serious, and my wife don't like the gas kickback, but it's all good because I love cereal. So congratulations on that.
Thank you.
And on the Browns. So what do you do for the Browns?
I am their digital media manager, so I oversee their website, mobile app, and all social media.
Got it. Well, that's dope. For me, back to the resources thing. I recently took on a position because I'm coaching football. But I'm also the director of collegiate recruiting because I'm helping get kids into college. That's like my most passionate thing. But I do it at a private school because I know at schools we came up in, we didn't get those resources. And then like my baby brother who goes to a private school, and I walked in there, I'm like, damn, like I didn't know all these resources were available to high school students. So I wanted to make sure I can do everything in my power to give that back to our culture. So that's what I'm trying to provide, and having that there and that curriculum there eliminates that hurdle of trying to get into college.
That's dope. That's real dope.
I try to be an all right person in my spare time. For real?
Yeah, for sure. The Browns do a lot of stuff with youth football, and come on, we gonna talk.
Even in North Carolina?
Everywhere. We're trying to actually expand everywhere. Okay. So.
Yes. Okay. All right. Look. So, we talk about that. So, anything else you want to cover or talk about?
No. Thank you for having me. Like,
of course,
this is super dope. I'm gonna continue to watch, obviously.
Well, we were supposed to do this. Now, look, she was partially trying to big time me. We've been trying to do this for about a year now, but she's supposed to be in season 1. But I appreciate you. I'm very proud of you, little sis. I love you, and I'm just looking to build and do stuff together now that we on this path.
Locked in.
Yeah. So once again, as a culture, we've been dealt a bad hand, and they expect us to follow suit, but we're trying to change the narrative of that. Shout out to the black-owned businesses. So shout out to Black Coin Market for the hoodie, and shout out to Ilthy. I don't think they black-owned, but it's Ohio. You know him?
Yeah.
I need a sponsorship on some hats. Holla at me. Shout out to Scene on the camera, Lavinio, little sis. You guys have a good one.